Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. So let's talk about these tariffs that are now being imposed on all vehicles, it seems, that are not built within the United States or assembled within the United States. You know, it was announced recently, I think it's 25%, something like that. And we're going to talk specifically about the Toyota Tacoma because it is assembled in Mexico. I had a comment recently over on my Facebook group, and check that out if you haven't, that some VIN numbers for the Toyota Tacoma show that they're built in the United States. And this is simply not true. It's a vicious rumor, I guess, that's now being spread, maybe by Toyota themselves, that some of these trucks are built in the US, Tacomas. Not true. They are all built in Mexico, at least the fourth generation and beyond. There were some third generations, about half of them for a number of years, were built in Texas or assembled in Texas. No longer true and hasn't been since the fourth generation. But let's talk about these tariffs, right? The big push out there was that Toyota's going to raise their prices. It's going to cost you $15,000, $20,000 more, whatever, to buy a brand new Toyota Tacoma. And even the dealerships, and you see, I think they might have had a little insight into this. The dealerships were jumping on that, running ads that you should buy a Toyota Tacoma now before the tariffs go into effect, and the Tacomas could potentially, that's their out, become more expensive, right? And it worked. A lot of people ran out and bought new Tacomas for fear that they were going to be priced out of the truck because of the tariffs. That hasn't happened, nor is it going to happen in the short term anyway. Toyota released a statement and they said that they are not going to be increasing the pricing on their products due to the tariffs, at least not for now. But they have to do something, right? I mean, Toyota's not going to lose 25% of the profit in their vehicles. Not going to happen. So they stated that they're going to counter these, in essence, by making cost-cutting moves within their own company. But what does that really mean, cost-cutting moves? The shareholders are going to take less money? I doubt that very much. Investors don't invest so that they can give up money. If they're going to do that, they're going to pull their money and invest in something else, right? So Toyota has to keep their shareholders happy. How can they reduce costs? Well, they can buy cheaper parts, number one. What does that mean? Well, it means that the quality of the product is going to go down, right? And a lot of people argue right now that the quality of the Toyota Tacoma has suffered. I don't know if I agree with that. So far in the two fourth-gen Tacomas that I've had, I haven't had any real issues with the truck. There have been a couple of minor hiccups so far. A couple of, I think only one actually, real recall, and that's on that rear tire if you have an 18-inch tire brake problem. But that's it. There's a TSB on the transmission, but I haven't seen that to be a major occurrence either. It's just kind of a heads up that there were some that were built that could have issues, but maybe not. And I'm seeing maybe not so far. So one, they can buy cheaper parts. Two, they can simply change vendors for better pricing. Does that mean the parts are going to be less quality, not as good? Not necessarily. You know, I worked in the manufacturing industry for 23 years as a purchasing manager, buying parts. And I often found that there's kind of a good old boy network, you know, a nod, nod, wink, wink, where you keep buying the parts from the same supplier, even if you could buy the same quality parts from different suppliers, which I did. You could go other places, get the same quality part for less money. I think Toyota's purchasing department is going to have to take a look at doing things like that. You don't have to stay with the same old good old boys just because that's how they've always done it and because they're the companies that take you on the best golf outings and pay for trips to have meetings in exotic places. I think getting rid of a lot of that could reduce a lot of the fat in Toyota costs without actually diminishing the quality of the parts. Now, their next option, of course, is to buy cheaper, junkier parts. I mean, parts that maybe aren't tested as well. parts from new vendors that don't have history with these parts. It's possible they could do that, but they're going to take a big ding in reputation if that happens. I think that's less likely. What I think is probably more likely to happen is you're going to see fewer bells and whistles on the new Tacomas. In other words, some of the tech is going to decrease. Some of the options are going to decrease. You're still going to pay the same price. So you're going to get less for your money, because that's how they're going to absorb some of these costs. They're going to provide us with less while maintaining their profit margins. And they have to do that because they're a business. It's what they do, right? So maybe there is a reason to run out there right now and pick up a new Tacoma so that you get everything that you can get before these things start to happen. And it's going to happen rather quickly, I think. I mean, these tariffs, they're already in effect. So they're already going to have some period of time where it's going to hurt before they can make these changes. You can't just flip a light switch in manufacturing and change things, right? So it would be beneficial, I think, if you're in the market, prices are the same, to go ahead and grab a truck now so that you get the most that you can get before things start disappearing. I'll give you some examples. Toyota has done this already, right? We have no rear slider in our truck. It used to be standard anyway on the TRD version. I don't have that. Home link, gone. I don't have that unless you go to a higher trim level and pay for these things, of course. Then they're going to maintain their profit margin. Even something as simple as the seats. You know, we used to have on the third gens, right towards the end of their life cycle, a little strap. What does that strap cost? I don't know, maybe $1. But anyway, we used to have this strap on the back that you could grab and pull the seat forward, I think, when it used to pull forward. Now it goes back. They took that away. It's gone. What does that save them? Well, if you sell 250,000 trucks, $1, and I'm probably low on my pricing, is $250,000. So yeah, they charge the same price, get rid of something that's so small, and in this case, they continue to profit. Of course, going forward by doing something like that, they would maintain their profit margin and still be able to keep pricing the same while giving you and I less when we buy this truck. So are the tariffs really a big concern at this moment when it comes to the Tacoma? It depends. Kind of depends on what you're looking for. For me, as long as I get a truck that has at least the minimal options on it that I want, which is really what I have right now, I would be happy with that. If you want to pay more and they add more stuff to it, well, that's your choice. You go with a higher package, right? I'm not so concerned about it for the moment, but I do think that if it continues, you're going to see a reduction in the quality of the trucks, and you're also going to see a reduction in the options that come standard with each truck. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know. Do these things concern you? Are you worried about this stuff? Or are you happy that Toyota is, at the cost of us, I guess, going to keep pricing the same? Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.